welcome to another episode of Mommy Needs a Break, where, we need a break because we're moms and we're tired. But that's okay. Thanks for joining us. I'm one of your hosts, Megan Thomas at Meg Scoop Everywhere.
And I'm Marisa Johnson, and she is Marisa J. Make sure to follow Mommy Needs a Break on all platforms at MNAB Podcast, and check our website out at MNABpodcast.com. We haven't done this in a while. I almost did it.
You almost made it through, because, child, you be messing up. All right. So, of course, we have guests every week. And this week is no exception. She's a wife. She is a mother of two girls. One is a newborn. So give it up to you. She's also an author and a content exec at Netflix. Y'all give it up for Melanie Goolsby.
Yay. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. You look fabulous to have just had a baby.
Thank you.
Seriously. I wouldn't even been out the bed.
You got lashes. Your hair is like literally,
I appreciate it. I don't feel that way, but this is like the first out of the house thing I've done. So,
thank you. That's so special.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. I do feel special. How are you adjusting to this new baby?
My oldest is 5, and I think we forgot. I fully am like, we forgot how bad of an idea this is.
Right.
It's fine.
Oh Lord, I know, because that's where I am. I'm like, it's not gonna be so bad. But now I'm like,
girl.
It's tough.
Brutal.
But we had a night nurse. We were trying out night nurse.
Okay.
So she was there last night. It was the first night.
Did you sleep?
Still didn't sleep.
Why?
Because we were nervous.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you gotta.
We just looked at the monitor the whole time to watch her.
Wait, what does a night nurse really do? So she just sits in the nursery with the baby, and then when the baby cries,
she comes at 10 p.m. She leaves at 7 a.m. And the whole point is at the end of this. We have her for 8 weeks. At the end of the 8 weeks, she will have sleep trained the baby. So she should be sleeping through.
We have never talked about this.
Listen.
Oh my gosh.
Never.
I actually was like, I feel really guilty. Like I'm taking, I'm using a resource that I shouldn't be, like I'm cheating parenthood or something.
No, what?
But
No.
I know. My sister was like, girl, sleep. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Last night.
This takes it to a whole nother level.
This is no, seriously, I never thought about this. Why don't we use this?
I look into it.
So she just wait. So what do you do? You're like, here's your snacks, ma'am. And he okay,
I gave her some water.
No, here's your snacks.
I mean, I don't know. What is? So she just sits there, and then so she puts the baby to sleep, and then she watch Netflix or something while she waits for the baby to wake up.
Was in the nursery. The only thing that she asked for is a place to sleep. So we have a little twin size mattress, and we also have just a recliner. And she was in the recliner for most of the night. But she came in at 10. We kind of handed the baby over. I had all the bottles pre-made and the little warmer in the nursery with her. She shut the door and was in there till 7.
That's amazing.
This takes it to a whole new level, because you think about I don't want to say the worst experiences, but the worst experiences for me are the beginning.
Yes.
Because it's I cannot sleep.
You don't sleep. It's brutal.
So if you can manage past that.
Yes.
A night nurse.
I
never
want to have
knew what
another
that
baby.
meant.
Look them up.
Oh my God.
Never heard of that.
Is there a company, Night Nurses Inc. or something?
Right, .com?
I found her through care.com because I was Googling it and was having problems. I was like, can you just show me a bunch of options for me to scroll? And they wouldn't. So, but on care.com, if you search specifically, I searched night, for it to be in their bio or description or something. And a bunch of people came up and I just started interviewing them. We called them, we met with them, got their references, did a whole thing. And we settled on her.
So what were you nervous about the most?
My husband was nervous that she was going to rob us because
he's a man and that's what men do. She's going to rob us.
He's in Decatur, Georgia.
I was going to say take the baby.
I know, because we're mothers.
I was like, what if she
takes the
steals
baby?
My baby?
Right.
How will we know? And then the other thing is, my baby, her name is Micaiah. She has infant reflux. And so we were trying to tell her, she has these episodes. So just make sure you're watching her. And I was nervous that she was going to miss her having one of these choking. She regurgitates the milk. It's not settling.
Yeah.
It's not settling in her stomach. And so it's pretty severe because she's choking on it. And so you have to pat her back. It's a whole thing. It's stressful. So we were trying to explain to the night nurse, this is a thing that happens. Just make sure you get up. So we're watching the monitor and she was making noises. And I felt like the night nurse wasn't getting up. fast enough.
Was she? Or, no,
She wasn't getting
oh.
up enough. So I'm like, Greg, I want to go tell her to get up. Like, check on her.
Did you tell her? Or like, what
No,
y'all
we
do?
just didn't sleep. And then Micaiah did it at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
She had an episode and you could tell the night nurse was like spooked. And I was like, okay, so now you see.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
So after that, she was getting up. So now I'm
Okay.
like, all right,
Okay.
we'll see how Wednesday goes. She's going to come on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Oh, it's not an everyday thing. I need
I
you
couldn't
every
afford
day.
every day.
I guess it
that's
is
right.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot of hours a night.
Yeah.
We'll do
Oh my
Monday,
gosh, this
Wednesday,
is
Friday.
amazing. Well, thank you for telling us about
Yeah,
this. Because
that's-
now I was gonna get the snoo girl, but now I'm like,
Oh, we had that too, but
Mm.
night nurse.
Night nurse. I'm about to say, I was like, I don't even know if I need a snoo now. I'm gonna get a night nurse. That sounds
Night nurse.
better, honestly. And then how is your husband and your other daughter McKinley adjusting?
Yeah, McKinley is in love. She calls her baby. She's like,
Aw.
should I get my baby? No.
Should I
she's
get my
mine.
baby?
But she's adjusting great. She loves it. Is having a ball. And then Greg is, we're struggling through.
Yeah, that
Well, you're
sounds
doing
about right.
great. You're doing
Thank
great.
you. Thank you.
All right, let's get into the show. Our next segment is called Ain't No Shame, where we share some shameful moments, but we're not going to shame you because we're not ashamed of them. Maybe we are a little bit, but it's okay. We're not going to shame you. What's your shameful moment, Marisa?
Let's see. Ain't no shame in letting your kids slap each other's butts.
What is this? Like, hey, good sport.
Yeah. So Aria, mine is 4. She turned 4 in October, and then my baby will be 2 in February.
Okay.
So she's had the 2-year-old is like, she wants to just take off her diaper. I mean, she's supposed to be potty trained. I'm lazy. She should be potty trained. Like the girl should be potty trained. She takes off her diaper. She tries to put panties on. Like she should be potty trained. And so she just had her diaper off, and then the 4-year-old wanted to take her diaper off. I mean, her underwear. That would be bad if it was no, I'm not that lazy.
No shame. Right?
So they were just running around the house all day, slapping each other's butts. And Terrell and I were just sitting there like, oh, whatever, like just let them. And they thought it was funny. It was like a game. Like one would go slap the other butt, the other one would run, slap their butt, and it was just. And I was like, "Is this right? Is this okay? Like, shouldn't we be teaching boundaries and don't touch people's butts?" But
They're sisters.
at this point, whatever. You
Sisters
can
are close.
slap your sister's butt,
Right.
Yeah, I slap my sister's butt. All
I
the
see.
time.
It's
I
fine.
see my sister's butt all the time. Right. So ain't no shame. You have an ain't no shame.
I have an Ain't No Shame. My 5-year-old started kindergarten this year. So it's the first time we're doing like actual school. And we forgot to pick her up one day.
Shut up.
Wait,
Well, to be fair, okay, wait. She gets out early on Tuesdays.
okay.
And so we forgot that she gets out early on Tuesdays. That's what I should say. So we left her there, and then they had to call us to tell us.
Wait, how long was she left there?
We got there like an hour later.
Wait, where did they keep her? They just like
In the office, Greg went to go pick her up because I was too shamed to go up there. Like, I forgot my baby. Yeah. But he said when he went in the office, it was like a bunch of kids.
oh, y'all were the
So
only ones.
everybody forgot. I was like, oh, it's Tuesday.
He said it was a bunch of kids. I called my sister and she was like, no, everybody forgets their kid once or, another. It's fine.
Right.
I was like, I feel so terrible.
Girl.
And then she, with all of her attitude, was like, you guys didn't pick me up on time. Just sit down.
Get in the car.
Right.
Yeah,
Get in the car. Time
You
for
don't
dinner.
remember this.
Don't forget. So that's my no shame.
Ain't no
Apparently
shame.
it happens.
Yes. It's not. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. So let's get into a little bit about you. I know you have the new baby. I saw this really like deep post that you put on Instagram about having postpartum preeclampsia.
Yes.
What is that and what happened?
Yeah. So I didn't have any blood pressure issues through my entire pregnancy and didn't have it through McKinley either, my first daughter. And had Micaiah, had a cesarean, had Micaiah, went home, everything is fine. And I ended up having to contact my doctor. I had Micaiah on Wednesday, went home on Friday. On like Saturday or Sunday, I contacted my doctor just because my the C-section it was like leaking. So I was like, hey, can I like come in? Can you check this out? So anyway, I ended up going on Tuesday to have her look at it. But when I got there, they take your blood pressure just in general when you go to the doctor. So the nurse was like, your blood pressure is elevated. So before you leave, I need to check it again. So I'm like, okay, girl, whatever. And so we do the whole leaking thing. Doctor's, okay, you're fine, whatever. And so the nurse comes back in and she takes my blood pressure again for the second time. And she says, it's higher than it was the first time.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, what's happening? And so she said, I'm going to put you in another room. I need you to like relax. And I'm going to take it a third time. But like at this point, you can't go home yet. And I'm like, okay. And Greg's downstairs with the baby because it was supposed to be a quick little check the little leak, let me go. And so we wait another 15 minutes and she comes back in and she's like, it's higher again. And so she says, you could have a stroke. So I can't release you. I have to have the doctor come in. So the doctor comes back in and she's like, I'm not going to lie. I'm concerned. I'm not sure what's happening, but like, let me make a few calls. We have to figure out what to do. Right. So she comes back in and she's like, surprise, you have to go to the hospital. You have to stay for at least 24 hours because we have to observe you. And so your blood pressure is supposed to be 120 over 80. Right. Mine was 184 over 103.
Oh gosh.
Wow. And so they sent me to the hospital, admit me with the baby and with Greg. They didn't let us go home or anything. And so we ended up staying overnight. And they did a bunch of lab work and all of that. And so I had creatinine, which is something that happens when you have preeclampsia. It gets into your kidneys and it basically, your kidneys don't function the way that they're supposed to. Mm-hmm. So because of the creatinine plus the high blood pressure, they diagnosed me with postpartum preeclampsia. So I ended up staying and overnight they were hoping that it would stabilize, but it rose. And so they ended up keeping me for 2 days instead of just the one. And so it was a whole thing. They ended up giving me blood pressure medicine and kind of sending me home and telling me to get a machine and monitor it. So we had been doing that. But then Friday, I went home Thursday. Friday comes and I wasn't feeling well in the evening and I hadn't taken the medicine yet. And we took Greg and I took my blood pressure and it was again about like 180. We waited 15 minutes and it was like 190.
Oh, wow.
And so we ended up going back to the hospital. By the time I got to the hospital and they took my blood pressure, it had gone over 200. And it was like 203 over 113.
And you could feel that? Like you could feel?
Yeah. So I just felt off.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I had no energy. The other weird thing is my heart rate was really low, which I was like, I don't know why. I just expected it to be really high.
Yeah.
And so they were like, have you ever been told that you have a low heart rate? And I'm like, no. So blood pressure is really high. Heart rate is really low. Mm-hmm. And so they gave me this medicine to bring your heart rate, your blood pressure down. They gave it to me. It's supposed to like immediately work. But because it was so high, it only got it to 175, which is still pretty high. So they ended up having to give me another one through the like IV. And what's so funny is I was nervous, Greg, but we were terrified. But seeing the nurse get scared when she saw the 200, I was like, oh shoot, hold on.
Right.
Like you're scared. And then the doctor came in and she was like, you could just see the energy. And I was like, am I gonna be okay? Like what's happening? Oh so anyway, they ended up getting me down. I had to stay another 2 days. And now I'm on blood pressure medicine basically. So I have to continue to take it. And it's been stable this whole time. We've been taking my blood pressure through the monitor and all of that. And it's been stable. So I just have to go back in another few weeks to see when I can get off
this
of it.
is new.
This is
it's
like,
actually pretty rare.
It.
It's actually pretty rare to get it postpartum. You usually get, or not usually, but when it happens, it's usually before you have the baby.
Right.
And the solution is to have the baby, right?
Yeah.
Like once you have it, that is the cure for preeclampsia. But when you get it after you've had the baby, there is no cure. So you just have to wait.
And they don't know what caused it.
No, she was telling me that they don't know what caused it. And it happens more frequently in African-American women. And so I had Micaiah at Cedars-Sinai, and they have this like special unit for stuff like this, because they say that women, you have your baby and all of your focus goes to your baby that you don't follow up on like your needs. And so they have this team basically that is basically meant to harass you to make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
Okay.
And so they have been doing some research to try to dig into like why specifically does it happen to Black women more frequently than like other races, and like what causes it, but they don't know.
Well, I'm glad you're okay.
I am too, girl.
Because we were talking. I mean, we've talked about this a few times about like Black maternal health and how like it's absurd in this country that the death rate for Black women after they've had their baby is like so high.
Yeah.
So I'm just stuff like this.
Yeah.
I know so many women that have had some kind of story in the hospital that they're like, I didn't feel right, something was off, and usually it's doctors that are like, you're fine. They're like. Right. It's okay. And so it's so good that you had doctors that were like, okay, well, let's
it's the reason I actually I wanted to have a Black OB, a Black woman
100%.
OB. That's the reason. I had a white guy for my first starter, and he was cool, but I was like, no, I want someone that I feel like will advocate for me and like hear me.
For sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
we
so
both
important.
have the same Black OB.
Oh
yeah. And I loved her because
because
I had an ectopic pregnancy years ago, and so I don't have a left fallopian tube, and so when I got pregnant with Mav, I obviously it's in my chart and everything, and our OB, I went in because I was like, I took a test. It looks like it's positive. So, you have to do the confirmation test or whatever at the hospital. So I did that. And I guess it flagged my chart. She like called me the next day and was like, you need to come in. We got to ultrasound to make sure the baby is in the right place. So that, if it's not, then we know what to expect. And so I'm like freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, am I having another ectopic? And so it was just great because I don't think many doctors would do that.
Right.
I think they would just be like, we'll see what happens. If it happens, it happens. Right? So it's like, I think that makes the difference when you do have a Black OB as opposed to somebody that's maybe not as invested.
Totally. Shout out to Dr. Hines.
Yes.
We love Dr. Hines. We love Dr. Hines.
Yes. Is there anything that you found different this time around? Like being a mom as opposed to like the first time?
I can feel that I'm older.
You felt a little more sluggish, a little more tired.
I'm like, what? How did we do this the first time? These 5 years, child, they hit. I feel every bit of them. That I just feel tired. The pregnancy was harder. The delivery was harder.
Did she come out quick? No, so she didn't come out faster. Nothing.
No, well, I had my C-section was scheduled for Friday.
Oh, you had a C-section.
Yeah, but I ended up going into having contractions on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
And so the doctor was like, let's do this. And I was like, okay, I wasn't ready, but let's do this. But the recovery, the first time I felt like I had the C-section and like in a week, I was like, all right, I'm got stuff to do. But this one I was like, I need to sit down still. I can't, like, it was harder. Yeah. So everything just I feel like I'm older.
Yeah. And because you're still worried about the first one.
Yes.
And then you have the second one now. And it's like, where's my attention?
And you have to, how do you manage this?
You should have saw me right before you walked in, like, because they were here. And it was just like, where's their dad?
I know.
Like, if I didn't have him, I don't know. Man. Because it's like, there's two of them.
There's two.
And there's two of us.
I'm like listening to y'all.
To tag team this.
Yes.
Like, that's the only thing I think gets me by is having him.
I'm just like listening to y'all like, now I'm over here like, oh Lord, you gotta stay in here.
Because when he doesn't, like, when he leaves, it's a little better now. But like when he would leave, it would just be like, when are you coming back? Like, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to eat. I need to just
be a normal person.
Do things.
And even when he comes home, I'm just like, I want to talk to an adult.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, can we have a conversation? Because I've been talking to these two humans that talk at me, that yell at me.
That just abuse you.
They abuse me. I need an adult.
Adult conversation.
But you know what? And everyone always says this is very cliche. Like, as they get older, it becomes easier. But I do notice that now that they're older and Aria can talk a little bit, like they fight, but then it's so cute when they get along. Like it's adorable when they love each other so much. Yeah. And ours is around the same age. So that part is like, I love it. Child. But it is hard. It is hard. I don't believe anyone that says like, oh, if you have two, you should just have three. I'm like, absolutely
3.
Not. What? Like they say, usually people will say, if you could get through 2, you can have 3.
No.
I mean, I can see the logic there, but I feel like the third one is kind of like, okay, fend for
No
yourself.
logic.
At that point,
Oh yeah,
you got 2 siblings. Y'all take care of this third
100%.
one.
100%.
Yes.
You know, go with God. All right.
Go with
I just feel
God.
like that's probably why they say that, because there's no way you can. It's so funny. I was holding her daughter earlier, girl. She was all sticky. I was like, "Oh, you sticky?" She was like, she had the agave like this, and I didn't care.
There's many things I don't care about.
I
For
know
the
the
second
second
one,
one,
for
that's
the
why I
first one,
laughed
I
so
was
hard.
so
Yeah.
psychotic with
You
the
were
first
so
one.
psychotic with her. Now look at how you
The
were.
second one is like and she was a pandemic baby, so we were in the house.
Yeah.
There was 4 walls. Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's so funny.
fine.
You're like,
It's fine.
she's taking the agave to the head. I don't care.
She's sticky. She has makeup on her
Whatever.
face.
All right. So, Mel, I know you were an author as well.
Yes.
So congratulations on that, because that
Thank
is
you.
amazing.
Thank you.
Your book's ABCs for Boys Like Me, ABCs for Girls Like Me.
Yes.
What inspired you to create this series?
Yeah. McKinley actually did. After I had her, she was probably a year, maybe even less. I saw this adorable book on Instagram. You know, they be serving all the ads. And I saw this book and it got me. And so I'm like, oh, I can't wait to order this and do all the things. So I order it. And as I was reading it, it just was very clearly not written by Black people, but was trying to appeal to Black people. And so as I was literally reading it, I'm like, this
Can you give an
ain't
example?
right.
I always need an example.
So like,
What was it like?
One of the
Jennifer loves her
pages-
pumpkin pie.
no,
Eating it with her.
it said, it was supposed to be like celebrating, or so I thought, celebrating Black
Kwanzaa.
people, entertainers, celebrities type of thing.
Okay.
And so there was a page in there and it was like a number counting one. And it was like, Kanye West is juggling 3 Kardashians. And then it had
You're
like
lying.
Khloe and,
You're lying.
and Kim and
You're
lying.
No,
That's
I
in a
swear.
children's book?
And a children's book. And I was like,
Absolutely not. He did
Swear.
not approve this. He did not sign off on this.
exactly.
Oh my
And also, of all the things,
Right.
if you were going to celebrate, Kanye has his issues, but if you're going to celebrate
Right.
him,
Right.
don't
That?
tie him to the Kardashians.
Right.
There's
Oh
like
my
other
God.
things to say about him.
That is crazy.
So it was things like that I was like, it's just not, if I wrote a book, that's not what I would have said or done. And I don't want to read this to my daughter. So I was reading it and reading things like that. And so I was like, who wrote this? So I went to Google who wrote it. And it was
A white person?
some white people from like Australia.
No way.
Yeah, I swear.
So they
It was
thought they were doing something.
not even American,
Yeah.
somewhere else. And it was all American,
yeah.
Black American people in both books. There were 2
Wow.
books. So, and then when I Googled it and saw these white folks, there was also some screenshots of them in like blackface and them like having comments on. I don't even want
to
to
come together and ban this and put the link in the bio and ban this. What?
I was so mad. I'm like, give me my money back.
Right.
And so I'm like yelling at my husband, like, look at this book. This is trash. Who wrote this? And I literally just said, I'm going to write my own book. I'm going to write one better than this.
Yeah.
And so I wrote ABCs for Girls Like Me. After that, I was like, I'm going to write what I thought this book was, which I thought it was going to be a celebration of people who look like my daughter. I thought it was going to be information that I would love and be proud to tell her that, despite Kanye and all of whatever he does.
Look, I love Kanye. I'm not going to let you keep saying this. That's 2 times.
But there are things about him that are worth celebrating and worth talking about, and that I would want her to know.
Said juggling 3 Kardashians.
Juggling
That
3
is so
Kardashians.
trash.
Absolutely
It was
unacceptable.
ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
What?
So I started researching Black women that I either knew about or didn't. And that was the thing. I wanted to not just go with like Oprah and Beyonce.
Yeah.
I wanted to like find Black women who had done things that I had never known about, because I wanted it to be used as like, you could be into fashion, but if I could find the person who designs firemen's outfits.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, like what if you wanted to be a firefighter, but like not quite a firefighter? Like I wanted to explore those things and be able to tell kids, like, you don't have to be a race car driver, but like, what if you wanted to be in the pit crew? What if you wanted to like change the tires? Like I wanted to explore those things. And so that's how I started doing the research. And so I just tried to find as many incredible Black women that I could. And I found one for every letter. And I was so excited about just the research was so fun. And then I was like, yo, if I'm going to make this, I want all Black women to do every part of it. So I got a Black woman to do the illustrations. I got a Black woman to do the editing and the formatting and to do the cover. And so, I after I did it and I was so proud and so excited, I'm like, I got to do a boys one.
Yeah. I was waiting for the boys one. I was waiting for that when it came out. Yeah.
So I wanted to just replicate it for the boys one as well. So we did the same thing.
Thank you.
For you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Applause for
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you. Because that was so needed.
Thank
And
you.
some of the people that you put in the book, I was like, oh, I didn't know anything about her.
Same.
Yes.
And that's one of the comments that I get so often is like, I have never heard of this person or this person, or, you know, which is what I wanted. That was the goal.
So you are in the content space.
Yes.
You had a hand in bringing Ludacris's Karma's World to Netflix.
Yay.
We love Karma.
Mhm.
Can you tell us about, you know, your role in that and a little
Yeah.
bit about Karma's World?
Absolutely. So Karma's World is an animated series on Netflix. It was created by Christopher Ludacris Bridges, and it was inspired by his oldest daughter, whose name is Karma. And he kind of tells the story about when he was early in his career and she was younger, she would come into the studio and want to like mimic what he was doing. And so that was kind of the inspiration behind the show. And the thing I love about the show, it's a Black girl. And we were so intentional about her looks and the stories, the episodes, the themes, the questions, the music, like everything was so intentional and so authentic. The head writer is a Black woman. And so there was just so much intentionality behind it, and something that I just completely fell in love with as soon as I heard about it. And so my role at Netflix, I'm a content executive, and I specifically work on animation, on animated series. And so I get pitches and then basically help the show from development all the way through production. So this is one of the ones that I was able to be a part of.
That is so dope. Yeah, we were talking like in one of the episodes about how, I guess when Karma's World first came out, there was this viral clip about in the show how she was like, I guess at a sleepover with her two white friends. And they were talking about
favorite
hair.
episode. Yes.
And I was just like, oh my goodness, we've never seen this.
Never.
And you know, it's funny. My 4-year-old Halo, she has really curly hair. We've watched Karma's World literally probably like 26 times. It's on rotation. But she walks around, Mommy, us girls got to protect our curls. Mommy, us girls. Mommy, where's my bonnet? Us girls got to protect. And then she's like, my hair's normal, huh, Mommy? Like, my hair's special. Like, that episode, I was in the kitchen. I had to stop everything I was doing and just listen because it was so, like you said, we've never seen that.
Never seen it.
Let alone on a cartoon.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? Like it's always it's like a song but never on a children's. And my daughter was like literally taking that in.
I love it.
Wow.
That brings me joy.
Yes.
That is,
Thank you for normalizing our bodies.
Yes.
Thank you.
I remember reading that script and getting literal chills.
Tears,
like
right?
I can't. We're completely doing this.
Go
Like
Karma.
I couldn't wait to
Go
get back on the phone
Karma.
with the writers. Like,
and even her name, because my daughter's name is Halo.
Mhm.
And so she's like, my name's unique, right, Mommy? My name is special, huh, Mommy? And I'm just like, this is everything.
Yes.
She
And
loves
there's
Karma's World.
so many topics that we talk about that was, again, it was just so intentional and thoughtful. There was just a lot of thought that went behind it, and everybody was on board and doing it in an authentic way and making sure that kids can see themselves. And, you know, one of the things I love about my job in particular is because I have a little Black girl who I want to see herself, because I didn't get to see myself growing up. You know, we didn't have kids on screen who looked like us and went through the things that we did. And so being able to be a part of children's content and making sure that what I'm putting on screen or what I'm a part of putting on screen are things I can be proud of and she can be proud of.
I even think adults should watch Karma's Wife.
Oh, for
I
sure.
agree.
Like, there's
I
so
agree.
many lessons.
And the music is good.
The music is fire. The music is fire.
Yes,
so good.
there is a soundtrack. Make sure you download it.
It's on Spotify.
It is on Spotify.
Is it?
Yeah, girls
Yes.
been in the car. Go Karma.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Proud of My Hair, which goes with the hair episode. I love that song. Me and McKinley be in the song in the car singing it. It's my favorite.
Yep. Us girls gotta protect our curls.
I love it. You know, now that I'm having a daughter, it's like, so parenting is a little bit different because of course I have my son, and like, you know, as a parent in general, you always want your kids to do great. Like you want to be like the best parent for them so they don't have to take on your baggage. But I think now that I'm having a girl, there's like the responsibility is a little bit different because it's like I can't raise my son to be a man because I've never been a man. But I can raise my daughter to be a woman because I'm a woman. So it's like now there's this different set of responsibility that makes me think harder about like what kind of woman am I? What kind of woman do I want her to be? So what are some things, you know, now that you have 2 girls, what are some things that you want them to know about becoming women?
Oh, good question. You know.
Because there's a lot.
There's a lot. So much. One of the things that I do try to teach her and remind her about, and something I'm probably stealing from my sister, because she has sons and she does it with her sons, but I want to encourage her. I've always felt like being emotional is like labeled, women are emotional and it's negative.
Yeah.
But I want her to know that like, be emotional. If something's making you emotional, whether that's happy, sad, mad, like own that. Yeah. And so I'm trying to encourage her to say that. And so like, as an example, and also just like be true to her feelings. So McKinley loves people and wants to be around all the people all the time and like has a fit anytime we have to leave anywhere. And so we were leaving somewhere and she was having her little fit and I'm like, you had a good time. And she, no, I didn't. I didn't have a good time.
Absolutely not.
Exactly. Right. And I'm like, okay, you're being dramatic. And so what I told her was, it's okay to be happy or it's okay to say that you had a good time and still be sad that it's over.
Yeah.
So I want you to just say, I had a great time and I'm just really sad that I have to go home. So it's like those kind of things of like owning how you feel and not being ashamed or like having to feel like, no, I'm good. And you can be sad. Yeah. So I'm really trying to, it's something I'm working on as an adult and also trying to instill in my 5-year-old and 5-week-old at this point.
See,
look, we all need to know.
We're all growing at the same, that's what I feel like. I'm like, I'm learning this with you.
Yes.
It's like, we're learning together.
Absolutely. Yep.
Is it me?
Yes, Marisa, it's your turn.
We gotta
script of answer questions and stuff. Marisa, we ain't did this in a while, okay, y'all?
I just forget I'm even on camera. I'm just like, what else?
We're just enjoying our time talking. Like, this is so much fun.
Anyways, so do you have any other upcoming events, products, books coming up?
Part of me feels like because I like became an author after my first daughter, I should become something else after this.
Really? What about like writing another book?
Well, I haven't figured out what to do, okay. But I'm like, you should inspire me too. So.
Maybe not.
Girl, don't do that to yourself, okay? Second child, don't have any expectations, all right?
Right. So I haven't figured out if that will happen. In my mind, I want it to. The thing is, shout out to Netflix, I have a year of maternity.
Shut up.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
So I have time to figure out.
Tell my boss, Cedric, I also need a year off for my maternity leave.
So yeah, I get to enjoy this first year and enjoy figuring out if there's something else I want to explore. In the meantime, I just have ABCs for girls like me and ABCs for boys like me. I also have, this is what we're doing, right?
Yeah, this is what we're doing, girl.
Yes,
do it.
girl,
Like
yes.
doing it.
Yes.
I also have these underrepped crew necks that we are doing. And this kind of came out of when I was doing the books as well. Mm-hmm. It's all about underrepresentation, and that's really underrepped is just the, not abbreviation, but like we've shortened it to underrep from underrepresentation. And just about like repping for people who are underrepped, repping for people who don't see themselves anywhere, and are still killing it out here. So that's really the kind of motivation behind the underrepped kind of brand. And so we're doing the merch now and being a mom.
Wait, where can they get the books and underrepped merch?
The books are on Amazon. You can just search ABCs for Girls or ABCs for Boys like me.
So easy to get, y'all.
Yes.
Okay, Amazon.
We ship them ourselves.
Oh, wow.
Good for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Greg does. And then Underrepped is on underreptmerch.com.
Okay.
They are available now.
Awesome.
Yes, support
Christmas
that.
is coming.
Indeed.
Or actually, no, maybe
This
not.
is in the new year.
Yeah, my bad.
We shot these early, y'all.
My
We
bad.
shot these
See,
early.
It'll still be cold, so it's
It'll
fine.
still be cold. There you go. All right, y'all. We're at our last segment of the day. It's called I'm Fine. Because, sometimes people ask us how we're doing and then we lie and we're like, yeah, I'm fine.
And we're not.
But you're not. So this is meant to get you through those harsh moments. And I have this quote here. The more a daughter knows the details of her mother's life, the stronger the daughter. And this is from Anita Diamant. And I thought that was very fitting for our conversation.
100%.
Since we all have girls, I can say it now.
Yes.
We have girls. I think
see the
support.
pink?
Yes, I know. You see my pink?
Yes.
But no, I think that's important because I feel like when my mom opened up to me and started telling me stuff about her life, I felt like something clicked. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like that was probably, I remember to this day, I think I was like 12. And that was the first time I saw my mom as like a person.
Yes.
And not just like a woman, like not just my mother. And I think like, oh, now that I'm having a girl, like I have to be more open and more honest about like my own issues in life, the things I've gone through. Because I feel like that'll really help her just, the authenticity of it. So
100%.
And girls just remind you so much of yourself.
Yeah.
Like you see them and you see all the goods, the bads, like of yourself in them. And it's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
So it forces you to look in the mirror. I mean, you don't have to, but to the quote, you might want to.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Might want to start.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you guys so much for taking a break with us. We always have great mommy and daddy guests right here on Mommy Needs a Break. So make sure you tune in every week right here on MNABpodcast.com at MNAB Podcast everywhere.
Oh, you did it for me. Shoot.
All that stuff.
Yeah. And that's it.
I'm Megan Thomas at Make Soup Everywhere.
And I'm Marisa Johnson. She is Marisa J.
And where can we find you?
Oh, I am
Melanie.
You've Got Mel. YOUVE.
Oh, I love that.
GTMEL. You've
It's
Got
cute.
Mel.
That's
Everywhere.
very cute.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that is cute.
Hit her up on Instagram, y'all. Thank you for watching us. We'll see you next time right here on Mommy Needs a Break. Bye.